And I believe that we must investigate and find out who specifically made those comments. Again, why do we even think that the daughter of the former president, an honorable member of the House, serving her third or fourth term, I stand to be corrected, who throughout her political career has maintained high level of decency. And I tell people that if you're looking for members of parliament who have lived up to expectation, who are so decent, even in their choice of words and in their conducts, the Honorable Zaneto Agyeman-Rawlings is one of such members of parliament. So, without any provocation, she's on her feet to speak, and you describe her in those terms and say those unfortunate or make those unfortunate remarks. I think that it is an indictment on the entire House of Parliament, and we must make sure that we identify the member of Parliament who said that from the side of the minority, and the person must face sanctions. I am of the view that the minority leadership should help identify the person.
The culprit.
The culprit, because it came from their side. And clearly when you watch the video, even the minority leader himself, Honorable Afenyo-Markin, was not happy about the comment. Because you could see the expression on his face and his reaction when he turned back, tried to attempted shutting the person up. But the video could not capture who made the comment, but it captured his reaction. And so it tells you that even the leadership or the minority leader himself was not pleased with such an unfortunate remark about President Jerry John Rawlings of blessed memory. So let's identify the person for the person to face some sanctions, because regardless of whatever disagreements that we may have, regardless of where you belong politically, there are some comments that are unacceptable and they must not be tolerated. And some of these things goes to create bad image for the entire parliament, because we work as a unit, we work as a house. And so I want to plead with the minority leadership to help us identify the culprit, so that the person who faces some sanctions, or the person himself, to act in good faith, come out, own up to those words and apologize. And what is even more worrying is that when you pay attention to the video, after the person made the initial comment, it appears as though somebody may have corrected or alerted him that this comment is not in place. Then the person retorted again, claiming that they have evidence. I don't know if you paid attention.
Yes, I heard that.
We said that again.
I heard that.
That say there were evidence or something like that. Please. We are members of parliament representing our various constituents. We are representing the good people of Ghana. Some conduct, some actions are expected of us, because where we have been placed by virtue of this constitution is a privileged position.
And let me assure everybody that the CD performance that we are seeing now won't be temporary. It has come to stay. So fuel prices will still come down. Because why we are getting these trade-offs is not because somebody is controlling dollars somewhere. It is because of the policies that we put. Look, in April, the Bank of Ghana put 490 million US dollars into the forex market. As the day they were doing it until the 5th April, the CD to the dollar was 15.7. Just because of the injection of that money into the forex market, it brought it down to 14.91, just overnight. From there, our gold reserves are now building up at the Bank of Ghana. And there's a surge in gold price above $3,133, meaning that we have more forex. So anybody sitting at home thinking that I'll keep my dollar because it can change, you better do something good. If not, you will regret it. So the MPP, yes, I don't blame them.
Are you assuring us on the show today that what we're beginning to see with the cedi appreciation is not a blip?
No, it is not.
It's sustainable?
It's sustainable. And every interventions that have been implemented is yielding results. In fact, we expect to sell $12 billion of gold this year. The total monthly requirement for BDCs and other importers is only $350 million. The reason why we usually see exchange rate not being stable is because the Bank of Ghana doesn't have enough dollars to supply the forex market. Now, if we have more exchange, why should the dollar perform better?
More forex?
If we have more forex, why should the exchange rate suffer? So for me, I know that fuel price will continue to go down, and people should not just listen to our politics. Go to the export price.
But are you also aware that the strength of the cedi is not only attributable to internal factors, there are also external factors.
I know.
Now, what happens if these external factors kick in?
That is why,
and the dollar, sorry, and the cedi begins to suffer some kind of a depreciation.
So let's use this as an education here.
Okay.
Look, when you say when the external performance is not favorable, what is its impact
on the currency?
So let me tell you one. First of all, if you have enough buffers, that's why the Bank of Ghana is building excess reserves to make sure that we diversify our trading route. If American dollar hits us hard and you have diversified export earning commodities, you will still not suffer.
But we're not there yet.
We are not there yet, but we are building. We are building. So that's what I'm saying, that if you think that it will change in future, watch again. Because this government, in fact, Gold Board is doing the magic. We gave them first $279 million. They returned to the country $540 million. We released another $380 million. They returned $1.1 billion. We are expected to spend $12.2 billion this year in gold pitches. So if you are able to build enough buffers, irrespective of what happens in the economic front in terms of external performance, we will still not suffer.
I want to even understand what's the strategy, because really this whole celebration of exchange rate being the cedi strengthening is actually toward an import-dependent economy. You understand? When right now, one of the biggest problems between the US and China is largely because China manipulates its currency. That's the claim against China by the US, that China manipulates its currency to make it weak so that its exports to America are cheaper. So what is our strategy? If as a government, your idea is 24-hour economy, a weak currency is actually better for you so you can drive export. They recently formed the Accelerated Export Board or something, right, which is part of their 120 social contract. What is that board supposed to do? If you have a strong cedi, your import will be expensive. So then what is the policy alignment there? What are they celebrating? If your goal is to drive export and your currency is strengthening, UK, the reason their currency has been strong forever is because they are import dependent. And that's a matter of policy. So it's cheaper for them to import than to export. So they import vastly everything they consume. Now, so you need jobs for your people. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, you promised you want to do 24-hour economy, which must be production-led if we think about it properly. These other skirmishes that, passport office is operating 3-4, I don't get it. That's not what you promised. Because if all these young people must get job, it must be productive. The enterprise must add value. It must create value and wealth. So you cannot say that DVLA is doing this and so that's 24 hours. That's a non-starter. But we are looking for the 24-hour economy, which is production-led. Where is that one? And so when your currency becomes strong, you are weakening your position. You can't do that. So this whole thing we are celebrating and jumping up and down, what is the long-term picture. What are they trying to achieve? You understand? So apart from the fact that everything they are celebrating is on the basis of what was done, and I'm saying that whilst we want them to be successful in claiming some of these things, I want to see a growth-led policy that, if not yielding results now, would yield result. Because what Ghana needs now is not celebration of a strengthening city.
Okay.
We need sustainably to get employment for our people.
Okay.
Because you see, the strength of the city has multiple effects on multiple sectors. So when the city appreciates in value, exporters suffer.
That's true.
That's a fact, basic economic fact. When the city appreciates in value, especially within a very short time, and the value of the value of appreciation is so high, exporters suffer shocks. So then, in relation to tinkering with the value of the city, we ought to be thinking about what kind of economy do we want to build? Do we want to build an export-led economy? Or we want to build an import-consuming economy? Or do we want to create a balance between the two? That goes hand in hand, as they say in France, in French, para passo, with the tinkering with the city.
Pari passu.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you. My friend teaches me this.
No, that's why we're here.
Yeah.
That's why we're here.
Thank you.
Pari passu.
Pari passo.
Yes.
Eh?
Pari passu.
Pari
Passu.
passo.
Yes,
Thank you, sir.
yes.
You know.
Hand in hand.
But that's the point I'm making.
Okay.
So we've got to be thinking multi-dimensionally. Otherwise, we'll be beating about the bush.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
Now, look at the world. Look at the whole world. Japan. Take Japan. Japan doesn't have a strong currency, does it?
No, it doesn't.
And you think that the Japanese could not take measures to strengthen their currency?
They can if they want to.
But Japan depends largely on exports. Look at Ghana. I haven't counted, but just from looking, watching our streets and so on, it would seem to me that about 70 to 80% of the vehicles on our roads are Japanese made.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Now, if you strengthen the Japanese currency,
It becomes more expensive to buy them.
those vehicles become more expensive. The European market, the American market, and so on become the beneficiary
True.
of a strong Japanese currency.
Yes.
You understand? China, what is the strength of China's currency? China doesn't have a strong currency because its economy is export-led. So we've got to be thinking.
So basically, what do we want?
That's the key
Fundamental
question.
question
What do we want?
That's the fundamental question.
Yeah, we have not
what
answered.
What do we want? How do we want to position the economy?
Yeah.
What kind of economy do we want to build and so
Yeah.
on? All of that ought to be related to the kind of currency we have
And how we are managing it.
and how we are managing the currency.
You have decided to scandalize this government. You have no shred of evidence. And you have been asked to cooperate with security agencies. And you sit here and say that government is championing and advocating and defending cocaine smuggling. You cooperate with the investigative bodies. This time, we are not leaving things like this. You cooperate with the investigative bodies. The evidence that you have, for which you organize a press conference, you give them to the investigative bodies for further investigations. And if you have no basis for making these spurious allegations against the government, the ethics of our profession as MPs is that you apologize. It's known as pastor. And so let me admonish him. Let me use the Bible to admonish him. 1 Corinthians 10:23.
No,
Please, I will.
I won't take
I will. When you were speaking, When you were speaking, I was quiet.
Address them. I won't sit
Yes,
here and take
I will
admonition
admonish you.
No.
Whether you take it or
Address-
not,
I won't
let me
take-
give the admonishment.
No. I won't take admonition from
Please
you.
comport
No,
yourself.
please.
You comport yourself.
I'll take exception to
No,
that.
you will comport
I
yourself.
am not going to take admonition.
Please, Moro.
Reverend.
If you
Moro,
want us to have
either
a
we do
decent-
this,
What do you
if he
find-
wants to be rude,
Please.
if he wants to be
Reverend,
rude,
I am
when
not
I
going-
came, when I came and he was speaking,
I am not
he
going
was
to
saying all sorts of, putting
disrespect.
all sorts of untruths. I kept quiet. I could have interjected. I kept quiet. I am not putting out falsehoods. I'm saying I want to admonish him.
No, you cannot.
He will take either he takes
Please.
the admonishment
Do you
or
under-
not.
do you understand
But
the meaning of what you're
yes,
saying?
yes.
That's the most
I mean,
derogatory.
Yes, no,
And
I
will
want
not
to
allow
admonish
that,
you.
and I will not allow that.
You allow it.
Yes.
You will hear it.
Address the issues.
You will hear it.
You are making years
a
of
pastor.
saving for
You are a
cocaine.
pastor by
Address
calling.
it.
So I'm addressing.
Address it.
Let me
I'm
ask
addressing
you
the
this.
issue.
Personal connection to the matter.
First Corinthians
You are
10:23.
personal. You are
Say
taking
I'm not
personal.
going. Didn't you go personal?
You are taking
Haven't
this
you
matter
mentioned the
personal.
name of the president? Haven't
Honorable,
you?
let me ask him what
Haven't-
exactly he
no,
finds
let me
wrong
give that
with
admonishment.
admonishment.
Let me
I
give
respect
let me
the
give the admonishment.
Let me ask
Hold
you.
I
on,
will
hold
not
on.
allow you to
Please.
come here and
You
treat-
Reverend,
will
what-
allow
what
it.
exactly do you have
You will
against
allow
that?
it.
No, please. I'm not.
You think
Maybe
what
you want
you-
to spoil the
you
show.
think
Allow
what
you to spoil
you
the
want
show.
to
No,
spoil
so
the
what
show.
exactly do you
Yes.
have against
You
that
want to
admonishment? I
spoil
want
the
to
show.
express your
I will not
You,
sit
you,
here
you
for you.
want to be uncooked
To
this
divert-
morning.
to
You
divert
want to
from the
be
issue.
you
You
want
speak
to
to
be
the
rude.
issues.
You want to be
No, I'm
uncooked.
saying
You
that.
want to be
I'm
uncooked.
admonishing me.
Reverend,
I will
I'm saying
admonish
that if
you.
he says he wants to
Why?
admonish
Are you beyond
what do you find
admonishment?
wrong with it?
No,
I want to know
Are
what
you
you find
beyond?
wrong with
Are
it.
you beyond admonishment?
I won't sit here.
Are
for
you
that to happen.
beyond
Let him
admonishment?
spoil
What do
your
you think you are? Are you beyond admonishment? First Corinthians 10,
I will not allow you to sit here
I will say it.
and spoil the show.
The Bible
Speak to the
says
issue.
all things are
And
permissible
spoil-
unto man,
The couple
but
you
not
are emotional
everything.
defense
But
of
not
this matter. Stick
everything
to the
is
issues.
lawful. Me,
issues.
Eze Dabamako, I'm not emotional. You are emotional. You have
Let's
decided to go
let's take a
on the
break.
propaganda
Speak to the issues.
tangent.
Let's take a
You
let's
speak
take
the
let's
truth.
let's
You have
take
nothing
a
to
let's take
say.
a break.
And you
Just
say
give us just 30
everything.
seconds. Give us 30 seconds. 30 seconds. All right, you're still live on Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. This show is also live on 94.1 FM on your radio dial. We had some little housekeeping issues that we needed to deal with. We've hopefully dealt with that, and we apologize once again for the unfortunate interaction between the two honorable members of Parliament, and we will sort it out. Hopefully, we'll sort it out. So let's have a good show. Let's have a good show. Honorable, now the thing about it, look, the ground rules for Good Morning Ghana are very clear. When somebody is speaking to an issue, the person is allowed to land on whatever they intend to say. It is entirely up to the presenter or the host of the program to interrogate and to ask follow-up issues. No guest on the show has the right to determine what somebody says or does not say. Because if you want to appear on Good Morning Ghana and you want to determine for Good Morning Ghana, hold on. No, I'm just letting I want the viewers to understand the ground rules. I'm not mentioning any names. I just want the viewers to understand the ground rules. I'm not mentioning names. I'm saying that no guest or panelist on the show is allowed to determine what somebody says or does not say. Because if we allow that to happen, we can never have a program. And so what we've decided to do is that you are commenting or submitting on a matter will allow you to land. If the presenter feels you're crossing the line, your attention will be drawn to it. We are not zombies. We are not unintelligent presenters sitting here. When you cross the line, we will know and we will draw your attention. And if you don't want to comport with what we're saying, we are more than happy to let you go. There are just too many people who are out there who want to appear on this program. They are begging us every day. Except that we can't have 3 people here. And we're only 5 days to do Good Morning Ghana. And so please, when you come on the program, the ground rules are explained to you. Let's not come on air and break it. You make us look bad. And I sit here, in the last 2-3 minutes that we're getting a lot of calls from our viewers who are worried. What is happening? This is not what we're used to. We beg you. We'll beg you once again, our viewers. Our guests will abide by the ground rules. Somebody's commenting on the matter, the person will land. If you have any issue, if the person is done, you are not estopped from raising reservations about what the person has said, which is fair. But do not cut in. You can't say this. You can't say, no, that's not your job. It's the job of the presenter. So please, now that I've outlined what the ground rules of the show is, I'll now come to Honorable Eche Roxing Nelson Eche Kwame Dapiamwapko to submit on the matter. And I'm sure that Reverend, if he has an issue, we have already explained everything to everybody, he will note it and then he will come back and explain and express his reservations, which is very fine. We don't have a problem with that. So, Honorable, having laid out the ground rules, please go ahead and submit on the matter.
Yes. Next time, don't pair me with very rude and unruly Reverend Father like him. Don't pair me with him.
That's not fair.
Don't pair me with him.
No, that's not fair.
Don't pair me with
That's
him.
not fair.
Don't pair me with him.
No, that's not fair.
Don't pair me with him. No.
Do you know why it's not fair?
Look,
it's a personal attack on his. It's
yes,
an
because
attack
you
on
can
his person.
actually scandalize a government.
Yes,
and
but
think that he should be allowed to.
Which
go
is, you can say that, but to describe it as unruly, it's not fair.
Well, he won't take any admonishment from you.
No. What I'm saying is,
he kept interrupting.
We have addressed that. But Honorable, I beg you.
There are ethics on this program.
I understand that.
If he cannot stand and operate by the ethics,
I understand,
he
but
shouldn't appear on the program.
But I'm just saying that, Honorable, to describe please do. Thank you. And I appreciate that. Thank you so very much. Thank you.
So, you see, his geography is even so poor that he doesn't even know that Canary Islands is off the coast of Morocco. There's only maritime waters serving as a boundary between Canary, Las Palmas, and Casablanca. So a plane lifts off from Las Palmas and lands in Casablanca, he has a problem. It is not there is no intelligence about it. It's a matter of public record. When you go to the manager of our airports, they'll give you, civil aviation will give you the records. We call it manifest. They can tell you who were on an aircraft. If it's a cargo plane, they can even tell you the nature of the cargo they brought. So there's a manifest for every aircraft that lands and takes off from any tarmac in this country or from any aerodrome. So that the claim that it's an intelligence is in itself false, because that is a public document. And you, as a ranking member on Defense and Interior, if you apply, you can get a copy. If he wants to do the things Okujeto used to do, he should copy it well. Oh, please, I'll tell you.
I take exception.
Copy it well.
Today you
please.
came on the show.
No.
Running away from the issues.
What issue?
Until all the
I am tackling your issue. I am exposing the falsehoods that you have put out. That you put the propaganda out for mischief purposes. Because an aircraft, when it lands in Ghana, there's no intelligence about it. It's a matter of public record. Alpha, Tango, Nancy, aircraft names, a matter of public record. So you got no intelligence. Somebody gave you the records, public record, and you went to town. Again, the fact that he mentioned that they couldn't fuel at Yakubu Tali Airport, really, in Tamale, planes fuel in Tamale. Please, when you say these things, you embarrass yourself the more. Please. Planes only fuel in Accra. So when they take off from Accra to Tamale or to Wa and back, or to Kumasi or Sunyani and Takrady, it's only Accra that they fuel. So don't suggest that an international aircraft that is in distress and decides to land in Ghana should have fueled. Do you have, let me ask you, do you have any experience in the aviation industry? Do you know that an aircraft in the air can experience distress at any time and put in an SOS message and land at the nearest airport available anywhere in this world? Do you understand the expression Mayday, Mayday, Mayday? Please, when an aircraft is in distress, it can seek to land and seek assistance from any airport that is closest to it. So this attempt to say that an aircraft took off from Las Palmas, landed in Casablanca in Morocco, and somehow found itself at Kotoka, and when the official position is that it came to do maintenance, and because they lost the tire, and you are suggesting that it cannot be true, as if you don't sit in an airplane, even a vehicle, your car that you drive, your V8, You can burst a tire in the middle of a journey. You are in distress. If you don't have a spare tire, you have to call for assistance. You drive to the nearest mechanic for assistance. All these are basic street common sense knowledge. But because of political propaganda, you want to tarnish the government and the image of the president. It won't happen.
Okay.
All right.
It will not happen.
There was also something which is at the heart of pricing, what we are able to pay the farmer and all other stakeholders. And that is because in all the talk, when the November producer price was announced, and all the talk about the farmer should get A, the farmer should get B, the farmer is being cheated and all that, apparently there was something significant that had happened that the rest of us outside Cocoa Board or outside the high echelon of Cocoa Board did not know, because there were people at Cocoa Board who didn't know. When I went around speaking with the workers and all that and explaining the state of the company and the industry to them, many of them didn't know about this. It is something that was first spoken of by His Excellency the President in the State of the Nation address. And that has to do with a rollover of 333,767 tons of cocoa.
Please repeat.
333,767 tons of cocoa.
Wow.
Which was sold in the 2023-2024 year at $2,600 a ton, but was not delivered.
How?
Yes. Cocoa Board was unable to deliver.
And yet the monies had been collected.
The contracts have been signed.
Signed.
Yes. For the 23-24 season. You know, those were the contracts that were signed to do the syndicated loan.
Yes.
And 333,767 tons of that cocoa for 23-24 were not supplied by Cocoa Board.
Because
there was no cocoa.
Oh, okay.
Because there was no cocoa.
So why sign when there's no cocoa?
How did Cocoa Board arrive at that estimation of yields, expected yields, and ask Cocoa Marketing Company to go and sign contracts for that? So we did not supply, Cocoa Board did not supply 333,767.
Wow.
That it has signed contracts and sold for $2,600. So in 24-25, Cocoa Board had to start supplying these contracts that we call low price contracts.
Because a backlog.
Yes.
You have to supply it.
So the price of cocoa had gone up. That's when it went into the 10,000s, the 9,000s, at a point maybe 12,000 and all that. But you had 333,767 that you had to supply from your 2024-2025 stock. So while the farmer was producing for you, and the price was, let's say, on the average around 8,000 or 8,500, you were using that cocoa to service cocoa that you sold for 2,600 and could not deliver. So that is how come for the year 24-25, the FOB that Cocoa Board declared was $4,850. Underline that. $4,850 for the 24-25 season. It is out of this $4,850 that the government, the MPP government, then gave the farmer share as $3,100,
Okay.
which was 63.9% of the FOB of $4,850 that was declared. Now, mind you, cocoa prices were higher then than today.
True.
They were higher then than today. You can check.
Right.
Yet, the FOB that Cocoa Board and the government of Ghana declared, upon which they gave the farmer a share, was $4,850.
Which is even less than 50%.
$4,850. Now, this is what happened.
Yes.
You know, because the issue of the rollover wasn't made public, The Parliamentary Committee on Agriculture and Cocoa and Water, they didn't know. The Finance Committee of Parliament didn't know. Because you see, once you're going to supply a part of the cocoa at 2.6 and another part at, let's say, 6,600 or 7,000, you will do what is called a weighted average. Because it is not all the cocoa which is going for that price that people read about, or the average that you've done for the coming season.
Which is past and present.
Yes, the average that you've done. So let's say for 25, 26, you are looking at, let's say, from August 7th to, let's say, July 31. So what is the average? What do you think will be the average, your forecast, the average price for cocoa for that period?
Right.
And then the central bank will give you an average for the exchange rate. And then you determine a percentage of the FOB for the farmer. And then once you've determined the farmer's FOB, the farmer's share, you multiply that by the exchange rate, the average that the central bank has given you, and that gives you the producer price. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I get it.
So even though the prices were higher then, you now had to look at what will my yields be for the year. So if you're expecting, let's say, 600,000, how much of the 600,000 will go for 2,600?
Yeah.
And how many will go for, let's say, 6,600 or 7,000 or 8,000? And then you strike a weighted average, and that becomes your FOB.
Right.
So the FOB of 4,850 was because of this huge rollover of 333,767 tons sold at 2.6. And that is what was hidden from everybody. Because if the prices were better when we're fixing 24-25 than today, how is it that today Cocoa Board is able to fix an FOB of $7,200? And last year when the prices were better, the government and Cocoa Board could only fix 4,850.
And so I would say to the many Ghanaians demanding whatever, and the people who are criticizing, that it is their place to criticize, because we cannot expect less of people who hold public office. And so everything everyone is saying is absolutely right. But it is also important to say that Sammy Gyamfi has demonstrated a lot of maturity. I am in the public space. And Annie, when was the last time you heard a public official come out to say that I am sorry for an indiscretion that has been exercised? Normally when something happens, you have people just coming to, say that it never happened, it is not true, they'll give all sort of excuses. What happened last, I think Saturday or so? Was it Saturday or Sunday? I saw the videos yesterday.
I saw it yesterday.
Okay, so what happened over the weekend? Let me be safe. Sammy has admitted it's a total indiscretion. There is no need to belabor the point. And I've heard Loratu in a very, whether jovial or serious manner, say that the code of conduct that was launched is being breached and everywhere. If Loratu had taken time to read the code of conduct, you realize that as part of the punishment in the code of conduct is public apology. And the reason why public apology is important, or is in itself a punishment, is that it is not easy for a public officer to render public apology. My friend here, Loratu, the last time, when she alleged that somebody was trading cocaine and later realized that she was misled, she came and she could not simply say that, sorry, simpliciter. She gave us justification of why she thought that that story was indeed true and all that. Why? Because she never intended whatever the outcome of the utterance will be. It is the same thing here. Sammy Gyamfi never intended to flaunt dollars in public or to show to people that I have this. We all saw in the video that a person was literally harassing him for money. Even before he could give the money to the person, this woman came and snatches the money away. Be that as it may, nobody is justifying the actions of Sammy Gyamfi. The young man himself has come out to apologize, to say that I admit I exercise an act of indiscretion. And Annie, if you ask me, that is big. The gentleman has not come to say that
I was right.
I was right. He has not come to say that my salary is more than what I gave. There is no illegality being imputed. There is no corruption. What the public is simply saying is that we think this act of yours, even if it's an act of kindness, we frown upon it.
Yeah.
He says, I take that as an indiscretion. You know what indiscretion is? That you have the ability to do A or B.
And you didn't have good judgment.
If you choose to do B, we think A would have been more appropriate in this matter. And says that, I am sorry for this indiscretion. However, whatever it is an indiscretion. I admit it. And for me, I think that case closed, if you ask me. Because even in the code of conduct, public apology is a punishment.
This is the official communication from the minority side of Parliament that I'm telling you. That initially the agreement was to vet 4, then it was amended for 2 to be added. And at that point, at 11:30:12, come on.
Okay, so hold on. So let's.
So don't say that.
So don't say that they didn't agree. They agreed.
And you had just done 3 hours of
that they had agreed to vet.
So they agreed. They were only fighting because of the time.
No, that's not the official communication from the minority side.
To who?
The agreement.
That official to who?
Yes, to
Is
everybody.
it to communicators or
to everybody? I'm telling you what the official communication from the minority side was. There was never an agreement to vet.
Hold on. Afenyo-Makin was on the committee when the chairman was setting the record straight. That is Honorable Ahiafo, the rights deputy speaker. He was setting the record straight when Afenyo-Makin was sitting right there, and he said everything that these people were scheduled to, be vetted. And following that, he apologized to how Ablakwa felt. And Afenyo-Makin was there. He didn't say anything.
Well, then,
so I don't know what you're referring to.
No, well, that is not. That's not the.
So because the fight in any case, if you even think that they were not programmed, let's assume without admitting they were not programmed to be. Is that how to go about it?
No, obviously. So that's why I started with an apology. Okay. You have to apologize, then you explain what happened. Because it was obvious that the majority wanted to bully their way to sort of create a situation where the minority will just boycott, and then the rest goes on. The vetting of the other 2 nominees goes on without them.
But
that is something
fair,
that they wanted to avoid.
Everything that
and we apologize for our behavior in Parliament.
This committee, who is doing the bullying?
I think it depends on which side of the. What do you mean? I don't understand the question. Would you think that the honourable minority leader is bullying?
Watch the vetting as Annie, not as MPP, not as NDC.
Oh, I usually watch it as a fair-minded. That's all.
Who is doing the bullying?
I don't think
a fair-minded elephant.
I think the chairman. He's had his days, but he's generally been quite fair. That I admit.
So who is in the bullying?
I don't think if what you are trying to get out is that the minorities bully. I don't think they were bullying.
You are the one who is using the word bullying.
Yes,
so
but
I'm asking you.
Trying to
have an understanding of what it is.
Yes.
Trying to have
admitted that the chairman
have vetting of 8 people at 12 p.m. Is that not bullying?
Equia, how do you feel?
About
who does that on the platform? Who does that on the vetting platform? How do you feel?
Shamima, please. I'm just saying, like, if we are all here, then we know we're supposed to close at 10. Then at 10, you bring in 2 new guests that we should continue sparring for another 2 hours.
So you know that we are closing at 10, but you decide you alone will question somebody for 3 hours.
130.
We are in a democracy.
In a democracy
in Parliament, when a nominee is brought, questions are allowed to be asked. Can we just stop this behavior of thinking that some questions asked by people or like the vetting was too long? You vetted Ken Ofori-Atta for 2 days. Did
Oh, okay, we hear.
And like this is the
we didn't vet Ken Ofori-Atta
for 2 days.
How
There were
did
circumstances.
What were the circumstances?
We did not vet Ken Ofori-Atta for 2 days.
So what happened?
You know 2 days.
He had 2 sittings.
Do you know 2 days?
That's 2 days.
It's not 2 days.
So was he vetted in 1 day?
No, you are specific with the time. You said 2 days. So
Let me some water.
For 2 days. When someone is vetted for 5 hours, what's the problem? That's the only opportunity that Ghanaians are going to have
problem if you tell
see
us
the
now
nominees
that,
like that. So what is wrong if the
so on what basis
thorough?
do we book 6 people if we think that we are going to do 8 hours for one person?
And one thing you guys also have to commend is the speed at which we vetted your nominees. That's not something you want to commend us for. The speed at which we
Oh no, I'll commend you for that.
Yes.
I mean, yes,
at
least
we have to be distracted.
No.
We actually wish you guys well.
You will be.
Okay. Right? But the point I'm making is that I am very reluctant to say this, but I don't know. I just have to say it. I think somebody must talk to Madam's, what's her name? Baomia's wife. Samira.
Why?
You know, I have observed her consistently, right? We have seen wives of politically exposed persons and the way they have conducted themselves in this political space. You know, whichever way, there's always that soft spot for women in our culture, our society. So when they are dealing with women, you are very measured, you are very careful the things you say about them. And so knowing this, they too should reciprocate. That you also don't push a man to a point where now you're also compelled to come back, and then people now start saying that, look at the way he's attacking a woman. You know, I've observed it.
Yeah, but she's not mentioning anybody's
You
name.
hold it.
She's giving a general advice that don't insult.
Hold it.
It's about intellect. It's
Go
about
back.
vision.
What is it suggesting? What is it saying?
She's not mentioning anybody's name.
You don't have to mention a name. When you insinuate,
Yes.
when you respond to people, people can tell, can infer, you know, when they listen to you. Why do you do deductions? When we listen, we do deductions, we listen. What is he insinuating? Where is he pointing to? And as I said, in time past, you can go on the net, check some of the things he said about President Mahama.
Who?
I mean, Samira, some of the things she said about President Mahama during the campaigns. You know, I think that, as I said...
But JM is an external foe.
Doesn't matter. Have you
She's
ever heard our mother, Linda Mahama, ever say anything about Baomi or say anything about President Akufo-Addo?
No, that's a choice. If you study...
let me just land.
Okay, you land.
When I finish, you come. Yes. I'm only saying that, you see, because we have said, our mother Nana Akufo-Addo Rawlings, go and check her history in the days of the PNDC days, or through to the first era of the NDC, between 1992 and 2000. Her focus was mobilizing women. She was always there with the women, organizing, setting up, do whatever she needs to do, right? That was her focus. She hardly will come at her political opponents, right? She had a clear-cut thing she was doing. Now, President Kufuor's wife, you know, we saw her in the political space.
You call her Mama Tess.
Mama Tess, and the way she carried herself. Nobody ever said anything against her. You see, because, I don't know, and Professor Mills' wife, look at the way she conducted herself throughout. Look at President Mahama's wife. You know, even President Akufo-Addo's wife, look at the way she conducted herself throughout the campaign. I think that somebody must guide and advise Mrs. Bawumia. She is far younger. She has a lot of energy in her. I'm not saying don't do politics, don't be at the forefront of things, but don't give people the opportunity to want to come at you directly. You can avoid it, right? You can avoid it. You can support your husband, you can do the politics, you can do whatever it is. But when you start attacking people directly, you call people names, you say all manner of things, they will come back in the same measure or even more. You know, and like they often will say, when you live in a glass house,
I'm saying that in this
let me
case,
just land, please.
She's not attacking
when you
anybody,
live in a glass house, you don't throw out stones.
Okay. Moro, yesterday also some few things. Maybe it's just did not catch the attention of the Ghanaian people.
Right.
You know, VAT on non-life insurance kick started yesterday.
Yes.
15%.
Yes.
And
We'll get there.
Oh no, I just wanted to remind. Oh, it's just a reminder. I'm reminding. Maybe we forgot. Maybe the consumer, our viewers have
The thing is, they say he who feels it knows it.
I said yesterday.
Yes.
It kickstarted.
Okay.
15% on non-life.
Yes.
Don't forget that there are some 6% levies on it already.
Yes.
So it's effective 21%.
Yes.
Yesterday,
yes,
diesel went up by 5%.
Okay.
Petrol by 2%.
Okay.
It kickstarted yesterday.
Okay. All right.
Yesterday, electricity tariffs went up by 2.45%.
Yes.
Yesterday.
Yes.
I'm just trying to remind people.
Thank you, sir.
Yesterday,
yes,
7%
yes,
VAT, excise tax,
yes,
on all plastic products.
Okay.
Kickstarted yesterday. Okay. Yesterday was very significant.
It looks like Collins.
No. Please, I want to understand why Collins.
I've not said it's a bad thing.
Collins,
I was just
the imposition on tax on plastic products. Is it a bad thing?
I just did mention plastic. But
you included it.
Yes, it's part of. I'm just telling Ghanaians what happened yesterday, apart from the prayer.
Okay.
So whilst we were praying to God for economic development, thanking God, there was also a 21.9% VAT on non-life insurance.
Yes.
It happened yesterday.
Yes.
There was a 5% increase in diesel. It happened yesterday. There was a 2% increase in petrol. It happened yesterday.
Yes.
There was a 2.5% electricity tariff increment. It happened yesterday. There was a 7% increment on plastic product. It happened yesterday.
But you were the
it's
one.
Just a reminder.
Yeah, that's fine. But you were the one who said that.
Just a reminder. I'm just informing so that maybe the prayers does not confuse the Ghanaian people that whilst you were praying, these ones have also kick-started.
Yeah, but you were
so now when you insure your house, if you have a business and you insure the shop, it has gone up by 21%. Uncle C, it's a reminder.
Please don't question your own fidelity to the religion that you claim to uphold.
I'm a Christian.
Yes. But at the same time, you're saying that maybe the prayers will confuse us. Prayers
no.
You Christians,
I'm just saying
that prayers can confuse.
Maybe it took the attention of the Ghanaian people from what was happening also on the economic front. I'm just reminding Ghanaians.
It's instructive.
It's not instructive.
I'm
a Christian. I am a Christian. Oh, I'm
claiming the prayers
I am a Christian. I am saying that whilst we were praying yesterday.
This is the level of your Christianity.
No, I'm saying that whilst we were praying yesterday, Moro, whilst the president and all the religious bodies were at the State House praying, Moro, maybe you forgot.
Yes.
That your premium on your insurance has gone up by 21%.
No, we haven't.
You haven't? You have not forgotten?
No. We'll talk about it.
Confuse people.
No.
You have not forgotten?
The press can't confuse me. They can't confuse me.
Oh, maybe it took the attention.
No, it hasn't.
It took your attention. So I'm just reminding.
So prayers take your attention.
Oh yes, yesterday you are caught up in the prayer. You are praying in tongues.
So it takes your attention.
So you forget that your next premium is going up by 21%. So I'm just reminding Ghanaians. That is what happened yesterday.
Is this how deep your Christianity is?
Oh, I'm going to see yesterday, electricity went up by 2.45%.
Wow. My goodness.
So remind them. Remind our viewers. God. Remind them. Maybe they've forgotten.
Yes, okay.
So this time, if you're going to buy electricity, you should be prepared to pay
2.45%. Collins is actually saying that you should remind our viewers that their prayers should not make them forgetful.
Yes, you shouldn't forget.
They should know that prayers sometimes can confuse.
You shouldn't forget.
He's repeating it.
Yeah, you shouldn't forget. Whilst you are praying, don't forget that this is also happening. How is it? You will keep reminding the Ghanaian people that whilst they were praying yesterday, whilst it was a national day of prayer, these were also happening. So they should get ready.
How is he won't do anything that will confuse him?
They should get ready to pay more.
As for things that bring confusion,
you will avoid it.
Stay far away from me. I don't want to be confused.
Anyway, we will not be confused. That I can assure
you. Okay, thank you. I just wanted to remind it.
Yes, you have made my day.
Thank you, Uncle.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. We are very alert. We are as alert as soldiers. Okay. So that's fine. We'll not be confused.
Before we started this discussion, you played a clip which had the general secretary of the party, who is a lawyer, in it and other leaders of the party in the clip. What are they saying? That their main concern is that if the process, the constitutional process which has started, is allowed to conclude, President Mahama will declare his wish for a third term. We all heard it. You heard it.
I did. And it's not the first time. They've said it.
Well, yesterday, I was on a platform with your chief spokesman, Mr. Ahiagba, who actually stated very clearly that the NPP is not worried about the law or the constitution. And that what the NPP is doing is politics. And that if you follow the law, it is difficult to find fault with what the president is doing.
So why is Vincent Kwasifo in court?
Hold on. Now, these are your own statements. I hope you won't run away from these statements too. You understand?
That I made
No, made by your general secretary, made by your chief communicator, made by your leaders. They are saying that, look, this is not a matter of law. This is not a matter of the constitution. It's about politics. And that somehow we believe, we fear, we've dreamt that President Mahama may declare a third term. A wish to run for a third term. Why are you wasting our time?
Okay, go ahead.
But why are you wasting our time?
Go ahead.
Why are you in court when you admit that this is not a legal matter, that this is not a constitutional matter? Why have you gone to court? To waste our time? To waste the time of the courts? What is this?
People have their opinions.
Who told you that President Mahama is running for a third term or intends to run for a third term? Where did you get that information?
For some time, I told you probably that I have been thinking about the possibility of it being done by him, even before he won the presidency. You asked my colleagues on our platforms, because of Article 66(2), that I felt that the Supreme Court at the point might be called upon to interpret it. And if
on what basis? What is your basis for assuming, for dreaming that one day President
It is not a dream. It's not a dream.
So give me the basis.
But we were in this country when we were supposed to go to IMF. We said that we were going to. President Mahama said that we are not going to IMF. The next day we went. But I'm saying that some people have argued that looking at Article 66(2), a person shall not be elected to hold office as president of Ghana for more than 2 terms. Some people think that it might need interpretation. Is it 2 terms consecutively or 2 terms apart as Mahama? So if they are asking, people are thinking about this constitutional provision, you don't say that they are dreaming. Now you are sitting here. You don't, please, with all due respect,
you asked us to demonstrate because you think, you imagine
as we sit here,
that one day President Mahama,
you don't know the mind of President Mahama.
That's the basis for asking us to go on a demonstration.
No. The demonstration was to save the judiciary. The demonstration was to save the judiciary. It was about the removal of the CJ and the onslaught on the judiciary. That was the reason why he went on demonstration. But if other people express an opinion on his third term possibility, just indulge them. It could be or it could not be.
Where is that possibility coming from? That possibility, where is it coming from?
But I've read
there's nothing in this constitution who says that Mahama is going for a third term. You cannot read this constitution and come to the conclusion that Mahama will go for a third term.
But I'm saying that
how do you read the constitution?
That's what I'm saying, that people are thinking that interpretation might give a different twist. You might think it is black and white, but our justices might be thinking differently. So people's genuine worries, allow them. Focus on your disagreement with them.
You've entered into negotiations, you have failed. And out of face saving, you're coming to tell us these things. You said the Ghanaians were suffering. The idea wasn't that we're not getting enough TV to watch, and therefore we needed more channels to watch. No. The idea is that the cost of living was killing us, and there was a need to have a cut. And you made some comparison analysis that the Nigerians were paying less. Other countries were paying less. Why was Ghana paying more? Another point he made was that the argument that they provided in increasing those packages was the fact that the cedi was not stable. And now the cedi has been stabilized. And therefore, they needed to cut prices. So the whole objectives of this negotiation failed. In fact, they tricked him. But we already know he's incompetent. They tricked him. All that he knows is talk. Give us what we want. They tricked you, and you now telling the guy, and you can see, he spoke to us without respect. It's as if he's just an NDC full soldier. And the only people he needed to address is NDC members and not the good people of Ghana. He made it as an MPP problem and presented it that when he comes, he was going to get these gains for us. Now they are pushing more irrelevant channels down our throat just to deceive us to stay. And they continue to take our money. He thinks we are all idiots. We just follow what he says. He is a failure. He needs to come out and apologize to President Akufo-Addo and apologize for the good people of Ghana. And you remember, I kept saying that these are a group of corn people, with the exception of Honorable here. They are a group of corn people. They've cornered us. So we are telling some George that talk is cheap. If you talk, govern the way you say you will talk, you have failed. And we knew you would fail when you were even in opposition. So apologize to the good people of Ghana that you deliberately cornered them, and you did so because of power. And now you've gotten power. So do not come and insult us as if you've gotten something better for us. What you've got is more irrelevant channels. I am not interested in them. Many people are not interested in them. What they need is reduction in price for them to have a better standard of living. No more foolish channels that they just deceive you.
I want to condemn his remarks and his unwarranted attacks that he launched on the minister. Look, leadership.
Professional.
I'm condemning Dr. Tinkran because leadership demands maturity and clearly
the actions of the
no.
Raf.
Oh, but you heard me speak about Raf.
No.
Oh, please.
You spoke about.
I spoke about. Come on. Don't let us finish. I am
let him
speaking
address
to
it the
them.
way he wants to address it, and then you will address it the way you want to address it.
I have said
Yeah,
that on
fine.
what happened, and let me repeat it. I have said it that on what happened. Looking at the videos we have watched, it is not enough. It's not adequate for me to conclude that this person was at fault, and that is why a committee was established. So the committee will come out with their findings, and then we can speak to that. But I am speaking to the unprofessionalism and the immaturity with which Dr. Tinkran is going about attacking the sector minister. Please, we know you as a cheap propagandist of the NPP. I know him for a fact. He's lecturing at Legon. But that does not give you a ticket to use this to launch attacks on the sector minister in such an unhealthy manner. If you are speaking for nurses, speak for nurses in a manner that reflects professionalism. And I know many professional nurses and midwives who even this morning sent me messages to disagree with the approach of Dr. Tinkran. You don't do that to the sector minister. And what is the sector minister's crime? That he was proactive, heard about an incident, he was not an armchair leader, decided to rush to the scene, engage the nurses, engage everybody, and your anger is that the gentleman you are accusing of being the perpetrator was seen fraternizing or speaking to the minister. Oh, why? Dr. Tinkran, with all his level of education, was he expecting that Honorable Akando at the scene at Ridge Hospital will be the one to handcuff Raf and say, you have been accused of this? And that what is the person's crime? That he was seen talking to the person you claim is the accused. For that reason, moving from one station to another, attacking him. Please, some of these characters do not even deserve to lead a union like GRN because I have nurses in my family and I know the professionalism with which they go about with their work. I have many nurses friends, many midwives as friends, and they are not people who reflect the kind of immaturity that the likes of Dr. Tinkran is portraying as if he's speaking for them. Look, we have many welfare issues that we have to be talking about for nurses. And I agree that let us engage. How do we support these people? But you don't use this incident as an avenue, a tool to go on your cheap partisan propagandist agenda, attacking the minister, calling him names, even saying that the minister is a farmer and not a professional. Why? But for farmers, how do you feel? Are you saying that if somebody is a farmer, the person does not have the discretion to know or discern what is right, what is wrong? That a person cannot prefer policies? Look, let us call out characters like this. And I know him very well, and I know that this attitude of his is not even fit to be a lecturer at the University of Ghana. I have been on University of Ghana Council before, and I'm daring him, look, some of these characters, that you are a union leader, and so you sit and you take on the health minister in this manner, this cheap propagandist. Please, let us respect leaders. Let's respect structures. What is the offense of Honorable Akando? No, you tell me that he heard of an incident and as a proactive leader decided to rush to the scene, set up a committee to investigate and advise him on the way forward. And you, in the name of being the general secretary, launch personal attacks on Akando, describing him as what? Disrespectful, that he is a farmer, lacks understanding of the sector. Honorable Akando was the ranking member on health. And in the 8th Parliament, if there is any voice who has spoken more for nurses and health professionals in this country, it is certainly Akando. Honorable Akando, as ranking member on health, in the 8th Parliament of the Republic of Ghana, on many occasions, stood by nurses, fought for their interests, their welfare, and is the one that actually was like a pillar behind all of these unions, encouraging government to serve them right. Today he is minister because you are a cheap propagandist and a member of a different political party. You are riding on the union to perpetuate this immaturity as PR, this irresponsible act of PR, launching attacks on the minister. It must be condemned. I have been a union leader before, and this is not the level of immaturity that we use to lead unions. You must always suppress your personal interest in the interest of the nurses, in the interest of the union that you are leading. I am condemning him because he's not even fit to be a lecturer at the University of Ghana. Please, these characters should not be tolerated. I'm very angry about this situation. How do you describe the sector minister in that manner? Very unprofessional. Is that a training you received? Shameful, embarrassing.
Let me bring in Kamal now. Kamal.
Oliver has said his. He has a perspective, and I really respect his perspective. It's his opinion that, look, we should have an exchange. But I have some silent questions to ask him, very humble ones. Is he trying to tell us, and now that doctor has associated herself to his comment, I want to add doctor to my question, that are they trying to tell us that until Ken Ofori-Atta gets well and back to Ghana, or until Ken comes back to Ghana, we are going to be harboring all the scammers in this country? Is that what we are telling the world? What does it mean to investor confidence? What does it mean to all the international agencies that have huge interest in Ghana? What does it mean to the young people who are following the discourse of this country? Granted, we all want accountability. We all want the right form of governance. We all want people to be asked, how did you manage our funds? But of course, the interest in doing so shouldn't also allow us to create a hole somewhere. Because if you say, yes, let's keep him till they give us. Do you know, okay, so you have one kind of Ofori-Atta with them. But they have thousands of this guy, Abu Trike's kind, in this country. So are you saying all the thousands should be free? They should be rejoicing because you want to keep them, because you are tracing one man, whom of course hasn't been called a criminal like this guy.
He hamanu malayigo
Nebe gbogbo menu oko aklowai. Ne Yesu melasiwo meleyigo. Yata no viva na ho Yesu. Ne Yesu melasiwo meleyigo. Nebe gbogbo menu woko aklowai. Ne Yesu melasiwo meleyigo. Yata no viva na ho Yesu. May the soul of the departed rest in the perfect peace of God. Thank you.
So if somebody just tuned in and heard the song, but of course does not understand the Ewe dialect, what is the message in the song?
Very simple.
Okay.
I want to make it to eternal rest.
Okay.
And the only way is through God. And that way you are invited into. So we're calling on people that life is worth nothing if after all these struggles, we still struggle on the other side. But rather we prefer rest on the other side after all the issues we've had on this planet. And the most important thing is our souls. Why do we gain all this luxury of life? Why do we gain all this and still lose our soul? Thank you.